Back, and we have with us for discussion for the topic of the day, Dr. Hamid Eltgani. He is a professor of public policy at the AUC. We thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And what are still the very contentious issues that are hindering any progress in the South Sudan's, North Sudan's talks?
Because, you know, if you look at it, this is an agreement that was designed by the international community. And it is not the free will of the North or the South to go on that, whatever the agreement that was concluded. At the end, you create a separation of the two countries, but there are so many issues that are contested. The biggest issue is the border issue that never been resolved. And this was, it's just showing that is both parties, whether it's the North or the South, they made a strategic mistake when they allowed international partners to come in and separate the country because they are not aware of the dynamics of the country. They are just taken by the political expediency and the political conveniences of the election in America or election in Europe, and they were put that pressure, and they are creating so many recipes that is now all become explosive. If you look at the border issues, it's a contested, very hotly contested. There are so many areas that are contested. Still people are not sure about the arrangement of the oil revenues arrangement, that is nobody is aware how that could be carried out in the future. And now they are talking about the symptoms of the problem, that is the security arrangement. How come two countries are separating until now they didn't resolve the security arrangement? The security arrangement, it will tell us something that more deeper into the political structure. What causes this security arrangement? Because the failure of the system in the North has created an opposition that is got to fight back to retain their rights. So, so what is important is, first is holistic approach. That's what is lacking now. Holistic approach in the North, holistic approach in the South, and then those two systems will bring a solution that is, this border issue become very minor issue because it's supposed to be more flexible borders between the North.
We're speaking about Darfur here, to the south and the...
No, we're talking about the South Sudan and the North Sudan.
Right, okay.
So it is much better. That is, the solution is supposed to be internal solutions. I am more inclined towards using the internal solutions. Internal solutions means whether they are fighting or whether they are talking. It must be within the borders of Sudan. That's what it is. Once you bring in the international players, they are spoilers always. They are spoilers. They are not helpful at all. Whether you bring the Americans or you bring in the Europeans. And now they brought the African unions. And the African unions, even the weakest link, it is a subcontractor to the other powers, so that they are carrying out the agenda that is in the long run will harm the relation between the North and the South. So it is very important that is people need to take steps, need to reassess the whole thing. And unfortunately, the government in Sudan is the reason of all this crisis.
Yes, let's talk about how to solve this issue, but just let us take the very sticking points so we can, at the end, put a conclusion of how South Sudan and Sudan can come out of this. Now, South Sudan said that a key sticking point has been the demilitarization of a contested 14-mile strip of land bordering Sudan's Darfur and South Sudan's northern Bahr al-Ghazal states. That is from the South Sudan's team. How do you view this point, and how do you view this, this piece of land or this piece of strip that is already bordering both countries, especially the Darfur comes in the middle, and we know that the Darfuri North Sudan's relations are not that best at their best of times right now.
You know, creating demilitarized zone, because this is a border that is so stretched, that is more than 2,200 kilometers borders. And even if you create a depth of demilitarizing zones, how are you going to monitor that demilitarized zones? The Sudans, what they are doing, they are making that is like a unilateral move, because there was an agreement that is they're supposed to be, you know, all the forces supposed to be withdrawn or redeployed within in the depth of the 14 kilometers. So the Southern saying that is we are compliant with whatever we agreed with it, and we are showing the good, gesture for the North to take another, they reciprocate that move. The North is not interested on this border demarcation or demilitarized zones. They want to get the security guarantees. That is, there will be no military activity that coming from the SPLA North, for example, or from the Darfuri movement, like the Justice and Equality movement. They are very active in that area. They are very active in Kurdistan. So the government want to get protection out of that. But there is no way that demilitarization can protect them, because these guys right now, all these forces are moved even further. If you look for the SPLA North, they are now in Kadugli and North, too far away from even the demilitarized zones. The same thing for the forces of the JEM, Justice and Equality movement. They are in North Kurdistan. So the question is, the North will not going to get that security arrangement, because there is no way, because the country is so big, the government in the center is weakened and broken, the army is decimated, and if you look at the Darfur, the same thing is. The North Darfur, we have seen this militia, the government militias are fighting within themselves. Okay, this is not even the rebel movement. This is the militias of the government that they arm them to protect the government. Now they are turning against each other and fighting against each other and killing each other, burning the villages. The conditions are very dire there. Of course, the international community is not speaking about it. Sudan government is always on that deceptive games.
Remember that the international community, when it first entered into Sudan's internal affair, the reason was Darfur and the Darfuri people and the rights and all this. And now we don't hear those screaming sounds about the Darfuri rights and those who are dying with no reason. So,
that will just reveal to us the standard of the international community. Today, 30 people could be, killed in Syria, and we could see it, or in somewhere else. Because they are interested in that issue. On the issue of Darfur, they are doing a lot of deceptions to the world views, deception to the international, in general. They suppress every voice that is talking about Darfur, even in the U.S. That the one that they are speaking so much about the issue of Darfur. Now they found that for the geopolitical interest, they felt that it's very important to face and to focus on South. They got whatever concessions they want to get. They deployed 26,000 troops in Darfur, part of the hybrid force by UN and African Union. The president of Sudan was in the box. Okay, he could be taken at any time. And almost they got every concession they want to get it from the northern government. They separate the south. So now it becomes something that is not of a highest priority. They just want to keep it under control, out of the international media, and they try to come out with these silly solutions that they are trying to attempt to bring it in, whether in Darfur or whether in issue of ABA. Talking about ABA, and you forget about the border issues. There are at least 7 or 8 contested areas, just like ABA, not less important than ABA. So now they are focused on ABA. They will do whatever, they mess it over there, then they'll go to the next area and create it, and they will make this tension will continue.
Non-ending topics.
Non-ending. This is going on. For the Darfur things, they could have solved it in Doha, but they went in and artificially created a movement that is collection of the diasporas. All my respect to the diaspora, I'm one of them, but collection of the diaspora, they brought them into Doha, signed an agreement and said this is the movement, and the true movement that they're supposed to be giving them the concessions, they left them out. So what we have now is no peace in Darfur, people rejecting that Doha agreement, they're rejecting anything to do with the Doha agreement, and today is a chaotic, and now they want to justify to the international community that Doha peace is working, and that's why they are keeping it out of the media. But this is the reality that the Sudanese people need to face it, and it is important that any solution will come, supposed to be internal solutions. People should not invite the foreign intervention to solve the issues of Sudan.
Right. Let's put aside all the points that are announced of dispute between the North and the South. And let's speak frankly, what are the main points of dispute between those two countries? And how can we resolve them? What can find consensus from both sides so this story can end for the sake of the Sudanese people and the Southern?
You know, if we want to have a long-term lasting solutions, what we need to see a transition, democratic transition in the North. This is the key entrance to the whole solutions. Because the regime in the North in the mood of survival mood. They want to survive. They don't care about any long term. They just want to survive today and tomorrow. That's why they are talking about the security arrangement, security guarantees. But they forgot that is, if we come with the holistic solutions where all the political parties come in, including the rebel movement, and we can make a transitional government and allow the Sudanese people have the freedom to express what system of government they want, how they want to be governed. If we resolve that issue, it is very clear, whoever going to come from the North, it will represent the will of the people, and also on the South, it got to be reciprocated with the same system of government, and people will resolve this issue in a very peaceful way, without any international intervention. 2 days ago, when the Northern opposition forces went and met with the rebel movement in Uganda, and they created what they call it the New Dawn Charter. That charter has created without any international interventions, without any international sponsors. That is the will of the Sudanese people, that they come together saying that is, let's just think together, let's bring a common sense and let us find a solution for this country. It is enough, that is, everybody is resorting to the international community for help. I think it is time that people look on themselves and look at what is a common sense politics, that people need to look at it. And because what it is, the cost is enormous, because the government is spending at least about $6 or $7 billion a year in war, while they're spending about 100 million in education and health. So those priorities, people are dying it now. Government is negotiating with the international community, saying that is, who's supposed to deliver the aid to the people that in the Nuba Mountains and in Darfur. The government wants to say that I am going to do it by my own, carrying the contracts and transport the goods and get paid. International community also, they want to do it on their own way, while people are suffering and dying. So there is a completely lack of a common sense. There is too much deception is going on from the international community in general. And we have a weakest president, wounded president, the country that is failed state in all terms. There is no security in Sudan except in Khartoum. And it is very sad that is still, you know, we have seen the Arab Spring, but the Arab Spring is going to happen in Sudan. It's a matter of time, because people have fed up from what's going on.
Well, just wait a second about the Arab Springs until we see how the Arab Springs turn to be here. But let me here ask you about the mistrust, this mistrust between the Southerners and the Northerners. Now, if both the two nations of the South and the North get together to speak, then there should be a kind of trust, trusty words, trusty agreements, trusty from both sides. How can both sides build such a trust?
Because, you know, the trust you build the trust if you deal with a goodwill, and you deal using the political instrument rather than security instrument. What is happening is, what is speaking, you know, people are not speaking politics or speaking about good policies. They are speaking about tactical issues. I'm going to, and this has happened since the signing of the CPA, between tit for tat. Somebody trick you, you're going to trick him next time, and everybody tricking the others. And that has created this mistrust. Is the exercise of more than 5-6 years of practice. And the government of the North also has made a record of signing an agreement and abandoning the agreement just to do it, either because of the international pressure. They sign it just for the sake of signing it, and then they will go and do something else.
Just to appease the international community, or appease the public opinion.
That's So that's why the partners, if we said they're going to build a trust, it is not going to happen because the trust is lost. And when you lose the trust, it is harder to gain. So they lost the trust. And the other thing is, there is who had the power really. In the north, there are pockets of power. It's true that the president has the supremacy of all the powers. He'll make whatever he wants at the end of the day, but it's still, implementation become an issue. Because you could, at the end, you could say whatever you want to say, but who's going to implement it become an issue because there are fragmentation of power. This is the danger that what we face in the north. And the Sudans also, they look at this government has no future. So why I want to give a concession to a person that has no future?
I have only 1.5 minutes remaining for me here, and I need from you what can be a breakthrough for those important countries for Egypt.
Breakthrough for the important countries to Egypt?
Yes, a breakthrough for those talks to succeed.
The breakthrough for those talks to succeed, it will start. It is not going to start in Addis. The breakthrough should start from home. The moment that the president realized that he cannot do it alone, he has no mandate to do that. He has no mandate even to separate the country. Forget about, carrying that even further. So it is a time that is people in the government in the north will realize that the best solution and the lasting solution is they need to relinquish the power by calling on the other political parties to join in, to have a national government with a national mandate to carry the discussion with the South. If we do that, that will be the real breakthrough. But I don't expect there will be any breakthrough because the trust is lost. International community, everybody try to do, because they want to refer the issue to the Security Council. So everybody want to make sure that, you are not going to be caught into the wrong sides. And it's going to be tactical, but at the end, this is not going to sustain. It's not going to be sustained because the tribal issues are very hot over there. And IBA is not going to be an issue, a sticking issue. A sticking issue is a security guarantee the government in the north looking for, and he's not going to get it. So I don't expect any breakthrough there.
Well, we hope for the best of Sudan that there will be, that we're not right and you're not right in what you're saying, and we hope optimistically of any light.
Hopefully there will be a light.
Yes.
But it will be the light when al-Bashir is gone, I'm sure.
Dr. Hamid Eltgani, Professor of Public Policy at the AUC, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Dear viewers, many thanks for watching. Sudan, the future of Sudan, the future of the whole region. We'll have to wait and see. French transmission will take over right after this program.